Hello, and welcome once again to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and for the next hour, we're going to continue our quest from 2 days ago, in which 2 days ago, we had a class where we covered the basics of gerunds and infinitives. Today is basically a follow-up to that class and we'll be looking at more advanced specifics, the kind of exceptions and special rules kind of stuff that we look at with gerunds and infinitives. Gerunds, of course, are the ing forms. I like swimming. And infinitives are the forms with to and the base verb. I like to swim. Okay. Well, all right. I'll talk about more of the review a little bit of general stuff, and then we're going to get into some pretty detailed stuff and practice some sentences together. But first, let me welcome students to the class, do a little microphone check, and then we'll get started. Hello, Michael.
Hello. I'm doing well.
Terrific. Great.
Yeah.
Glad.
I like learning gerunds and infinitive.
Yeah, you're back for more. I was going to say you're back for more punishment. Okay, you're brave, Michael. You're a brave man. Okay, Heidi's joined us as well. Heidi, welcome back.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Okay, nice to see you too. And Rebecca. Has long time no see, Rebecca. I'm very glad to see you.
It has been a long time, yes, but I'm back.
Well, Rebecca, Heidi, Michael, you're back in time to say goodbye. For some reason, group classes continue until next week, but for some reason they are blocking me from taking classes next week. Frankly, I don't know why. But, so this is it, swan song. Goodbye, my friend.
So are you going to finish giving classes?
This will be my last group class. From here on out, if you want to have a class with me, it's going to have to be one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah. But just with you or the rest of the teachers?
Just for me. There are group classes next week, but not many for some reason, and I have not. No one's explained to me why, but it appears some teachers have been blocked from picking up classes next week.
No, it's not only for some teachers. I think it's a general rule.
Yes, the group classes will end February 18th. That's correct. 18th Pacific Time, USA. Yeah. That's true, but today's the 12th, so I was. As far as I know, I was allowed to take class. I was allowed. Sorry?
Occupied the schedule, so you are kicked out, maybe.
No, that's not it. If you'll look at next week's schedule, there's almost no classes taken. There's like 4 teachers next week, the whole week. I don't know why.
Sorry. Okay, are you going to offer tandem classes too? No, only one-to-one.
Tandem classes? Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have that option open.
Okay.
Yep. I'll still be around, but for some reason, no group classes. You'll find during these hours next week, there's almost no classes.
It's a sad news, Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad news. Yes, it is. It's sad news. I should not use an article, not a sad news. A piece of sad news. Yes. Okay. It's sad news.
Thank you. Yeah, because I really enjoy these group classes. For me are very useful and I have fun. At the same time.
Well, me too. I really enjoyed them as well. I enjoyed teaching them a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you know, perspectives from different people, different cultures, different
Yes,
personalities of individuals.
yes.
Yeah.
At the same time, from our houses, so it's really nice. But well,
All good things must come to an end. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but I guess regardless, we've got work to do today. So, okay, gerunds and infinitives. All right, let's at least learn some English to our opportunity while we have the opportunity. Okay, look, just a brief to catch up for those who weren't in the class with Michael and I the other day. Okay. Basically, gerunds and infinitives, it's very difficult to decide when to use them. Now, when they're a subject noun, generally, real quick, infinitives are more formal and gerunds are more conversational, more for speaking. Infinitives are more for formal writing. As a subject or possibly as a complement, they're basically, that's it. It gets more confusing when they're object nouns, because when you're trying to pick a gerund or an infinitive as an object noun, the trick is that it is dependent on the main verb of the sentence. And what makes it extremely hard to deal with is that even though you have verbs with very similar meanings, for example, like, I like to swim, I like swimming. I can use either. However, a very similar main verb might be enjoy. I enjoy swimming. I cannot use I enjoy to swim. All right, so you see the problem. The choice of a gerund or infinitive sometimes depends, always really, as an object noun, as an object, depends on the specific and very specific main verb in the sentence, and that's basically the problem. Okay, that's the general idea. So we're gonna be looking at some very, very specific circumstances today. I'm gonna go quickly through the first couple because we looked at them a couple days ago, and then we'll examine much closer some others. But first these, because I think you need the background because we build on it. All right. Gerunds are often modified with possessive forms, as in these examples. I enjoyed their singing. She understood his saying no to the offer. So you will frequently see gerunds used this way. Okay. Now, if you look at the main verbs, enjoy and understand, this is past tense, but understand, these two verbs, they cannot take infinitive forms. Specifically, these verbs, and other verbs also specifically, some only take gerunds, some only take infinitives. So, if your main verb only takes a gerund, it is very common practice to use a possessive pronoun to clarify who or what is performing that action. Okay. A couple more examples real quick. Sam resented Debbie's coming late to dinner. We discussed the machines being broken. Here we have an object. Okay. That's one specific concept. Now, looking at infinitives, another specific occurrence with infinitives, in some situations, we will put a noun between the main verb and the infinitive. In some situations, that noun is actually required. In other situations, that noun is optional. Okay, for example, the police ordered the man to stop. We cannot say the police ordered to stop. Notice ordered. We also cannot use a gerund. The police ordered stopping, or the police ordered the man stopping. Can't do it. Order is a main verb that requires an infinitive. All right. In other cases, okay, asked requires an infinitive again. She asked leaving. It doesn't make sense. In this case, the noun is optional. She asked to leave. So obvious. Oh, who's leaving? Okay, Michael, who's leaving in this sentence? She asked to leave. Who wants to leave?
Some other people.
What person? Well, in this first sentence, she. That's right. That's it.
Okay.
She wants to leave. So the subject noun wants to leave. Right.
And we cannot use this sentence to express that she was asking to leave, but no she, but other people. She asked to leave the students.
Yeah, well, that's the next sentence, Michael.
Okay, sorry.
She asked the students to leave. Right. So, in the first sentence, it's really the subject noun who is going to be doing the leaving. In the second sentence, it is the object noun that is going to be doing the leaving. Okay, so the meaning of the sentence has totally changed. So just to point that out, having a noun here is optional. You can do it or not do it. It's grammatically correct either way, but obviously the meaning changes completely. Okay, that's the point I wanted to make. Yeah, she asked them to leave, whatever. All right, we don't need it. Like in the first example, we have to have a noun, but it does change the meaning. Now, this is about as far as we got the other day. So much for review. We're on to uncharted territory. Okay. All right.
Sorry. Okay. This last sentence, I was thinking about if the subject or because in the second example she asked him to leave, but if him appears before in a previous sentence, and we only use she asked to leave. For instance, they were. She was teaching the class to the students. She asked to leave. We can understand that that we are speaking about the students.
No.
Or no.
No. Okay. He was being very obnoxious. I still need to say she asked him to leave, not she asked to leave. I know you're thinking about pronouns or whatever, but nope, I still need him.
Okay.
Okay, she asked to leave will always be about her, no matter what precedes it. Okay? Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. All right. Glad I could clarify that. Okay. More specific weirdness with gerunds and infinitives. Here we go. Some verbs are usually followed by a gerund, but, that's capital B, capital U, capital T, but they can also be followed by a noun plus infinitive. And once again, as we just saw, using this different form changes the sentence and changes the who. Actually very similar to what we just looked at. So, for example, I advise taking the train. Okay, in general. I advise him to take the train. Okay. Now here, I advise to take the train doesn't make sense. You can't use the infinitive by itself, but you can use it with another object noun, him in this case. Really the same thing we just looked at, or very similar. Not exactly the same, but very similar. Okay, so it's quite similar because now him is the one who's going to take the train. He will take the train. Yeah, similar idea. Okay. Similar but different because, of course, advise, the main verb, usually takes a gerund, but here we have a weird exception that it's allowed to use the infinitive, but only if you have another noun. Tricky tricks. All right.
Very, very tricky.
Very tricky, yeah. Now, okay, as much as I would like to have you guys form sentences, I myself would have an extremely challenging time. I don't think I could do it, honestly. I don't want to ask you to do something that I can't do. If I was to try to brainstorm another verb that works in this way, it would be basically complete trial and error on my part. We would spend the rest of the class just me brainstorming other verbs we could possibly use to express this exact same condition. So I can't really do it, and there's no point in basically reforming the sentence with advise. So I'm going to move on after I say hello to Ken. Hi, Ken.
Yes, hello. How are you?
Okay. I seem to have challenged myself and you and everyone else with one of the more difficult aspects of English. We're doing some more advanced special circumstances with gerunds and infinitives. So, okay, the next one is a little bit easier to wrap your head around. This is very, very common. There are many go gerund expressions, absolutely, expressing activities. I go swimming every weekend. Would you ever go skydiving? This one we can try. Let's try a few. See if you got the right idea. All right. Michael, you want to give it a try?
I like bungee jumping, hiking, cycling.
Okay, but with go. The idea that we frequently use go plus the gerund in combination.
I like go surfing, hiking too. Go cycling.
Okay, well, okay, slow down. Wait a minute, what's missing here?
Going surfing. Sorry.
Okay, now this is actually, it's a very simple. No, it's okay. It's a good illustration of something. The main verb is like. After like, we can use either a gerund or an infinitive. So, Michael, I like going surfing, not a problem. But equally valid because like the main verb.
To go.
Yeah, see that? More tricky tricks. The idea that we're trying to look at here, go plus the gerund, is still here. Whether we're using, it's really still the same idea. Going swimming, going skydiving, we're doing the same thing. Okay? So either of these could, I'm glad you did that because I can point out that either of these sentences is perfectly correct. All right? They both have the idea of go activity. Heidi, you want to try it?
I'll go shopping tomorrow.
Another excellent. All right, another excellent example because I can demonstrate something from this. All right, future tense, that's great. I'll go shopping tomorrow. All right, What is the difference, Heidi? What's the difference between I'll go shopping and I'll do some shopping? What's the difference between these two sentences? Tricky.
Only to try shopping. Doesn't matter window shopping or real shopping, but some shopping.
Or some shopping, or maybe I'll do the shopping tomorrow.
To pay the money. And
okay. Now this is actually kind of interesting. This is kind of a special case, especially with shopping. If you're going to go shopping, you're expressing the concept as it is an individual recreational activity. So Heidi's going to go buy 20 different pairs of shoes. Woohoo! It's so fun. Okay. It's a fun activity for you. If you're going to do the shopping tomorrow, we do work. Do the housework, do the cleaning, do the dishes, do the laundry. If you're doing the shopping tomorrow, the chances are you're probably buying food, a regular household chore. You have to go buy the food at the store and bring it home. It means that you're thinking about shopping as a job. You do work. You go fun. Okay? So that's a very good example of the difference here and how, because of this little rule number 10, go and gerund, we would understand this differently. Go shopping, do shopping. It would be two different things. So, great example, actually. Rebecca, want to try one with go and a gerund?
Okay. I go to the cinema every weekend. With Gerund. You say with Gerund, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I go running every morning.
Okay. Okay, very good. All right, I can bring up a minor point with this one. All right, look, all right, Rebecca clearly enjoys it as a recreational activity. For me, it's work. I hate running. I really can't stand it. I like other things. I love skiing. I like bike riding, cycling, whatever. But I just hate running. I don't know why. The point is it considered a recreational activity by the speaker? Really? Okay. Doesn't matter what the listener thinks. Okay.
Okay.
You enjoy running? More power to you. Good for you. It's healthy, I know. Good for you. I just personally hate it. All right. Ken, can you give me an example?
I go skiing every winter.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Skiing. All right. Definitely. That's pretty straightforward. Straightforward activity. There are some. Michael asks, I do running every day, following the doctor's advice. Yes, Michael, that's the idea. It's something you have to do. It's like a daily chore. Exactly. So you would probably express it with do. Very good. Excellent. You got it. Absolutely correct. All right. Interesting. Right. Hadn't thought of that. But, okay. There are some words, okay. There's some words where, okay, I play golf. There's some sports, recreational activities that involve a ball, usually. You play basketball, you play hockey. Well, that's a puck, but whatever. You play football. But notice that we don't normally say, I go footballing, I go basketballing. No. These kind of team ball sports, we generally use I play. However, there are some exceptions, such as golf. I go golfing. It uses a ball, but I guess probably it's considered more of an individual activity. I go bowling. I guess you use a ball, but I guess that's considered more of an individual activity. You can't play bowl. That doesn't make any sense at all. So, okay, and you can't go volleyballing. Doesn't make sense. So, little crossover on the golf thing. I guess it can't make up its mind if it's a team sport or a single sport. I don't know why, but this one works either way, with play or go. All right. 11. Next. Fun-filled fact about gerunds and infinitives. Gerunds are used after prepositions. Most commonly, these are because there are verb prepositions, verb preposition combinations, or collocations. As you hopefully know by now, for example, listen, we almost always use listen to. I listened to the Beatles. I listened to music. I was listening to the news. That's an example where we just normally use we use to after listen. So I listened to barking dogs all night long. The to is there. It can be confusing. Oh, I have a to. I must have to use an infinitive. Well, the to is there not because of the infinitive, but the to is there because of that's the collocation or the combination that we have to use. Again, wow, this is where it gets confusing. Where does this preposition belong to? Is this preposition a prepositional phrase? Is it part of a verb preposition collocation? Is it a phrasal verb? Isn't English fun? Okay. You don't have to memorize these combinations. Well, that's a lie. Yes, you do. Yeah, you kind of do. Well, you have to become familiar with them. I don't know about memorize, but it's just you have to become familiar with them. Okay, but for the purpose of gerunds and infinitives, you need to remember that gerunds are used after prepositions. When we think about an infinitive, to run, to walk, to fold, to climb, we conceive of that as to verb being a verb. We no longer think about to as even being a preposition. Okay, just like when we use present continuous, are running, we think of the verb as the two words, are running. Okay, we don't think about it as separate words. This is pretty much true with all verb forms. We consider all of the auxiliaries, including the modals, if there's modals, or infinitive with to. That's the verb we're conceiving of or thinking of. So this little explanation, don't let the fact that, for example, our first example, they admitted to committing. Okay, oh, what about infinitives? Don't let that confuse you, because it's something different. It's because you admit to, he admitted to the crime. Okay, I don't have to have a gerund, but it's very common. He admitted to taking the money. He admitted to cheating on his wife. Whatever. It's very common to see a gerund after this construction. All right, Leslie made up for forgetting. Make up for. Okay, the whole thing is an expression. I would call this a three-word phrasal verb, in fact. Interesting. He is thinking about studying abroad. All right. Now this one might be a bit more challenging for us. All right, can you think of any verbs, a verb that commonly needs to be followed by a preposition? Put on your thinking caps. Okay, I'm not going to make the same person go first every time. So Heidi, can you think of one here?
Okay. I'm thinking about keeping my study.
Okay. Keeping my study, well, I don't know. Keeping my study.
English.
Okay. Keeping my, all right. Thinking about keeping, I'm thinking about, well, continuing studying English. I'm thinking about, okay, keeping my study just makes it awkward. By keeping my study schedule or something would work. All right, I'm thinking about continuing studying, okay, would work better. Okay, another option here. Continuing studying, okay, and by the way, okay, it is actually quite common to double up, to double down, so to speak, with double gerunds. All right, and it happens a lot with infinitives as well. I want to learn to swim. You know, okay, to learn to swim. That's double infinitive. Continuing studying, infinitive. Okay, but good example of what we were trying to work on. Very good. Think about. Yes, think about is a very common normal collocation of verb and preposition. So yeah, that was a good example. Rebecca, can you think of one? A verb and a preposition.
Okay. I think I'm keeping. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Ah, very good.
Come on.
Okay. Okay, very good. All right, sorry for keeping you waiting. Okay, here's a common phrase. All right. Okay. Yeah, all right. Great, good example. Very common phrase. Ken, can you think of one?
She's dreaming about. She's dreaming about studying abroad.
Okay, very good. That's it. Okay. Besides my misspelling, that was very good. Okay. Yeah, dream about is okay. Think about, dream about. Those are very common. Absolutely. Michael.
I was wondering about asking Verblin to offer group classes.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I'll write that whole thing. Yes, I will. Okay. Yeah, wondering about, think about. Okay. And I had another example. Listen to. Okay, there's lots and lots of these verb prepositions, but okay, again, gerunds are used after prepositions. normally, of course, we see to, we think infinitive. I mean, I do as well. But even sometimes to. Listen to barking dogs, for example. Okay. And if you see other verb preposition combinations, you can be certain that a gerund is the correct choice. Absolutely.
But in this example that Rebecca says, where is the preposition? Sorry for keeping you waiting. Where is the preposition? For.
Yeah.
But not
For.
before.
Yeah.
But it's before the gerund, no after. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the verb is sorry.
Okay.
The subject noun is implied. It's a kind of a weird phrase because it's, I guess, you know, I am sorry for keeping you waiting. She dropped the subject, and I let it go because for me it's very, very normal. We do that. That's called ellipsis. In some very common phrases, English speakers will drop the subject noun, or when we use the imperative, but in the imperative, the subject noun is automatically you. This is not the same thing as imperative because this is clearly I. Yeah, and she dropped it, and I didn't mention it or even think about it because for me that's very normal in that specific phrase. Okay, anyway, next little piece of weirdness. Remember that there are many, yes, there are many adjective plus preposition combinations and noun plus preposition combinations, as well as the verb plus preposition combinations that we just dealt with. Okay, these are also going to be followed by gerunds. Again, all right, so combine weird rule 11 with weird rule 12. Basically, prepositions get followed by gerunds, and this is fairly natural because, you know, prepositional phrases, what do they consist of? A preposition and a noun. Same thing. They're okay, right? We might throw in an adjective or two, but besides that, prepositions are used with nouns. It's quite natural. Okay. Just some quick examples. Okay, Sandy is scared. Here, scared is an adjective. Scared of flying. Now, okay, can we say Sandy is scared to fly with an infinitive? Yes, we can. All right. So we basically get rid of the preposition. It's possible to do that. Sure. So, okay, just because we're using an adjective doesn't mean that we can't use an infinitive. What we're saying is when we use an adjective plus preposition combination, then it will be a gerund. Nick is anxious about, oh, there's another about, thinking about, wondering about. Okay, oh, well. Oh, anxious here is an adjective. All right. All right. Okay, well. Now this is interesting. Nick is anxious about taking the examination. Now, okay, we're using adjective, preposition, gerund. What? Okay. Nick is, what if we change this? What if we want to change it to an infinitive form? So we drop, again, we drop about, we drop our preposition. Okay, Heidi. First one, Nick is anxious about taking the examination. What's the meaning here?
About the examination. Meaning?
Yeah.
Nick is worried.
That's it. That's it. Straight up. Nick is worried. How about when we change from a gerund form, using the preposition and the gerund, we change it to an infinitive. Nick is anxious to take the examination. What is the meaning?
Almost the same.
Actually, no. If the children are anxious to go to Disneyland, I can't wait, Mommy, I can't wait. I'm so excited. This actually means Nick is not he's, well, a combination of nervous, but more excited, looking forward to. Okay? So, all right. Well, this is a good example of how
Nick is anxious. Just taking the exam.
he wants to take the exam. He's excited about it. In the second one, all right? In the first one, he's nervous about it. It's kind of negative. Anxious has a couple of different meanings. We can use it a couple of different ways, all right? So I think this is important to understand that sometimes, especially with words and not just adjectives, but other words, we saw it earlier with a verb using a noun, okay, adding a noun plus an infinitive changed the meaning, all right? Or using a gerund or using a noun plus an infinitive, it made the sentence mean something else. So I think Nick here helps us see that this happens with adjectives as well. The meaning can change.
Then infinitive means Nick is Nick want to take the exam.
Yep. If your children are anxious to go to Disneyland, they're excited. They want to go. There's nothing negative about that. All right. If you're anxious about, that means you're nervous. It's much more negative. Anxious have kind of two meanings, and we often use anxious to have a blended meaning. Oh, I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. See, anxious kind of has two meanings. Anyway, there are other cases where this could happen. Other cases where there may be a couple different meanings or with an adjective. All right. Okay, here's a noun. His interest in becoming a professional snowboarder was well known. His interest to become a professional snowboarder, once again, if we remove the preposition here, we can, in this case, remove the preposition and just use an infinitive. This case, it doesn't change the meaning, really. Okay, there is a very subtle difference when you have a choice. All right, when you have a choice of a gerund and infinitive, there is a difference, a very subtle difference, which you need to know. I like to swim. Okay, the infinitive has a kind of abstract quality. I like the concept of swimming. The whole thing about moving through the water gracefully. Whoops, I forgot how to spell. The whole concept of moving gracefully through the water turns me on. I like it. Okay, so an infinitive, it means it's kind of an abstract thing. I like swimming, however. Basically, this is much more physical, okay, and literal. I like swimming is a more physical, concrete, I should say, concrete concept. What I'm really saying, I'm inferring that I actually enjoy the physical activity. Okay, so a kind of guideline you can use when you have a choice, and where it does not change the meaning, as in Nick here, changes the meaning totally, or noun infinitive, or as opposed to gerund, changes the meaning totally, Where you have a choice where it doesn't change the meaning, this is how you decide. Are you thinking of it as a concept which is abstract, or a very concrete and physical concept? All right. Thomas's story about seeing a grizzly bear was really exciting. Thomas's story to see a grizzly bear does not even make sense here. Huh, okay, this is weird. Oh, I guess this is a compliment. All right, that's weird. Yeah, that doesn't work with an infinitive at all. Okay. Part 3. Well, we've only got 10 minutes, so. All right. As we've noted already with Nick and other cases, the meaning can change with gerunds and infinitives. Classic example, remember and forget. These two verbs are classic examples of how the meaning of the sentence changes. All right. Nancy remembered getting married. Okay, she was not too drunk. She didn't drink too much alcohol. She can still remember it. Good for Nancy. Okay. Fred remembered to bring, all right, sunblock to the beach. He remembered that he needed to bring sunblock. To change this, all right, Nancy remembered to get married, what means that one day Nancy woke up and said, oh, I need to get married. I almost forgot. It's something I really should do, which is kind of crazy, of course. Fred remembered bringing sunblock to the beach would indicate Fred got to the beach and now he can't find the sunblock. But I remember bringing it. I know I did it. I remember physically bringing it. Okay, again with the physicality, the physical gerund. I remember bringing it. Where did it go? As opposed to, I remember to bring sunblock to the beach. Okay. Basically, that means the concept that you need to bring sunblock to the beach to protect yourself. Okay, it's still a little bit of that abstract versus concrete going on here. That's part of the reason that the meaning changes. Frankly, there's not a whole lot of these, really. We've run into a few cases in this class, so it definitely happens. The ones that are usually, the language learners usually make mistakes, remember and forget. I forgot to get married. I forgot getting married. Maybe I forgot getting married because I was just too drunk. I forgot to get married. I never got married. I just didn't remember. Oops, my mistake. Okay, same thing. I forgot to bring sunblock. I forgot bringing sunblock. I don't remember actually carrying it. All right. Okay. Fred forgot bringing sunblock with a gerund means that he does have sunblock, but he has no memory of actually physically carrying it. Kind of the opposite of remember. You guys get this? You guys get this concept with remember and forget, how the meaning is changed? Anybody have a question about it? Okay, thank you. It's a little bit mind-boggling. Okay, I already talked about this actually. All right, using a gerund suggests you're referring to real activities or experiences. Using an infinitive is abstract, potential or possible activities. Okay. And she likes swimming. She likes to swim. It doesn't matter. We got the basic idea here. This is not a very great difference in meaning. It's a pretty basic concept and very simple. So there's not a, pretty straightforward. However, all right, the British reporter likes swimming, likes to swim. The British reporter likes living in New York. All right. it's inferred because of the gerund that he lives in New York physically and he likes what he experiences there. Okay, as opposed to he likes to live in New York whenever he works in the United States, which infers that he likes the option or the possibility. All right, so because of the content, there's a little bit more of a noticeable difference between the abstract and the physical. That's the point here. I like speaking French because it's such a beautiful language. I like physically doing it, the way it makes me feel, whatever. I like to speak French when I'm in France. Okay, the option or the concept of speaking French when you're in France. Okay, I think we've covered that enough. There are many be plus the adjective combinations that are commonly followed by infinitives. When we use the verb to be as a linking verb. He was angry. Okay, there are many times when we can follow that with an infinitive. They were anxious to begin. She was delighted to receive. He is lucky to have. Okay. They were anxious beginning. Yuck. It's very confusing. She was delighted receiving such good feedback. This is a very common mistake, actually. Verb, adjective. It's a very common mistake for both language learners and even native speakers. And for me, it almost sounds right, but it's wrong enough to sound weird. They were anxious beginning. A very common mistake. It's like rubbing your fork on a plate for me. It's like rubbing styrofoam together. Your nails on a chalkboard. It really kind of doesn't feel good when I hear the gerund after these simple linking verb phrases with an adjective. She was delighted receiving such good feedback. It just sounds a little off, and for some reason, slightly annoys me. He is lucky having such good friends. It almost sounds right, but just not quite. So, okay. Normally, you want to follow that with an infinitive. All right, usually what we have to worry about is the main verb and what needs to follow the main verb. Okay. However, we also have some nouns that are commonly co-located or combined with infinitives. For example, it was a good decision to move. Now here, I don't really care. It was a good decision moving to San Francisco. It was a good decision moving to San Francisco. Either one is okay with me. His wish to become an actor was well known. His wish becoming an actor doesn't even make sense. Well, that's because, all right, maybe that's because I wish starting a job wasn't so hard. Okay. I wish to start a job. When I'm using it as a verb, I can only use it with a gerund. Okay. So when it's crossed over and now it's a noun, his wish, it's still, okay. All right. Notice it's different, strangely enough. I wish starting a job wasn't so difficult. Verb. I wish to start a job. Sounds wrong. Okay, so this can be very tricky because now it's a noun. Now we need an infinitive. All right. Laura's desire to improve. Okay. She desired to improve her looks. All right. Here is a verb. It's perfectly okay. As a noun, it's perfectly okay. I guess these are just co-locations, so there's nothing you can do but become familiar with them and kind of try to remember them as you see them. All right. Sometimes infinitives are used to express the idea of in order to do something. Okay. To make it simple, you can use the phrase in order to look up, in order to swim faster, in order to whatever, in order to catch more fish. Okay, you can always use that, but if you don't want to use it, he bought the English dictionary to look up difficult words. Okay. All right, showing purpose. Well, this is pretty straightforward, actually. Why did you do something? The why. Okay, she sold her car. Why? To get the money. Okay. Well, this is very okay. When you're showing purpose or the why, when it's a verb, you use the infinitive. To verb. It's very simple. When you are showing the purpose or the why you did something and the answer is a noun, you use a gerund or another noun. Okay. He uses the pole for fishing. Okay, why? Okay, again, earlier we looked at with a preposition, you're going to use a gerund or another noun. Same idea. We're just kind of looking at it from a different viewpoint, but it's kind of the same idea. When the purpose or function is a verb, it's obviously infinitive. Okay, this idea of in order to do something is found in many, for fishing, for example. Okay, well, okay, Sarah. Okay, everyone, we're about out of time, so hope you learned one or two valuable things in this, my swan song class. If Verbling allows me to book classes for next week, I might be back for group classes next week. If not, thank you very much, you guys. I'm glad you three are here with me, my final group class moments. You're like my three loyal soldiers of English learning. Great. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you to do, and try to do more classes, please, because I really enjoy your classes.
I will try, and I can always, find me one-on-one. I'm not leaving Verbling. I'm just, group classes are, it's a business decision, Heidi, thank you very much.
I hope you can have another classes.
So do I. So do I, Heidi, very much. We'll see. But you guys can always take one-on-one classes, or feel free to message me. Ken and I sometimes occasionally message each other on the Verbling message box. So Heidi, Rebecca, feel free. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye.